Okay, this is a little freaky because I look like a shadow, but I'm going to try to speak a little bit while I get some fresh air and take my canine friend for a walk and try to take some deep breaths and stay fresh. I was fortunate enough this week to study the parasha, and I read a few books. I wish I can give credit to the source of each one. I could say who the books that I read were, and then we hopefully figure out where the idea came together from. But I said the Kedushas Levi. I believe he's the one who says one concept, and the theme basically is that all Hashem expects of us. It sounds very cliche nowadays, but I'll show you how fundamental it is in our value system, in our Jewish religion. Hashem expects us to make the effort to do what we believe in, to do what he believes in, and what we try to emulate. And then the results are really not the focus, and not the focus, and not important. The results are up to him, and that's part of really believing and letting go of the control. So this week's parasha is Parashas Vayerah. There's the Kedushas Levi says, I believe, that we know that Avraham Avinu was the representative, the epitome of Chesed. His name even represents Chesed, and we inherited the gene to be kind and do kind acts from him. So one of the things he's known for, one form of Chesed, which this parasha begins with, and we speak about all the time, is Hachnasas Orchim, which means taking in guests. So, ironically, the one time we know that Avraham Avinu did Hachnasas Orchim from Midrashim, and he would take people in, but the only scriptural source, the only place we actually find him taking guests in, is in Parashas Vayerah. And those 3 guests that he took were angels, or malachim. So at the end of the day, he went and he fed them. He made them tongue, and he got them water. He gave them mustard. He gave them butter. They baked fresh pastries. He gave them full attention, like the epitome of Hachnasas Orchim. The funny thing, though, ironic thing is, Rashi says, that when they ate, they looked like they ate. They weren't really eating, because they were angels, they were malachim. They didn't need anything of his service in actuality. They didn't need the food, they didn't need the water. There was no avodah zarah on their feet. They weren't dirty, they weren't hot. So there's one example of Hachnasas Orchim that we find in by Avram. It was just Avram doing Hachnasas Orchim with no real worldly, physical, necessary results. He wasn't fixing anything on the regular level that we understand it. That's number one. I'll give you another one that I read somewhere else. I think, it's either the book called Lech Lecha. That's ironic. There's a whole book called Lech Lecha, but it has about all the parashas. And Parashas Vayerah, I believe, either that book or a book out of the box, he discusses that we learn about the tefillah of Shacharis from Avraham Avinu. And ironically, where is this tefillah found? It's found at the beginning, right before Sodom is turned over before the destruction of the cities of Sodom. And he davens that Hashem should save the city of Sodom, and gets up for Shachris. That's his Shachris, which we learned it from. He stood in the place that he stood, it says. The next day he comes, looks out in the valley, sees a big pillar of smoke. Basically, Sodom was nuked. Sodom is gone, demolished. Everything he davened for yesterday, including perhaps to save Light, his nephew Light, didn't happen. There's just smoke, destruction, pillar of fire. Think of a mushroom cloud on Hiroshima and Nagasaki. And he continues to daven. He goes back to the place that he davened, and he davens again. Again, what's the purpose of davening? No results, just davening. I do what I should. What Hashem probably wants me to do for whatever reason, to emulate him, but he's in control. No results necessary. And the final one, I hope I'm right about this one, is the final test, perhaps, Akedas Yitzchak. Avraham is asked to show the final sacrifice, and he's asked to bring Yitzchak as a carbon, and he goes through great difficulty. He wakes up early in the morning, and he harnesses his donkey by himself, and he travels for days. He carries wood that he chopped. He binds, ties Yitzchak. He does everything with intentions. He fights his beliefs. And guess what? He comes to sacrifice Yitzchak, and guess what? No results. He doesn't do it at the end. So it's really not about getting the results. And I was going to say it's not about fixing the world, but actually that in itself is what fixes the world. Life today as a Jewish person is resulting from Avraham's actions. Not Avraham's fixing the world, but Avraham's actions. And that's what I feel that I have to learn and teach myself. That life is about doing the good things that I could do, doing the things that Hashem hopefully wants me to do. Sometimes I have to ask, sometimes I have to intuit it, sometimes I have to guess it, use the knowledge that I have, and then just hope and believe in the rest. And that's what I hope at this period in world history, where we're holding such trying times, that I don't have to fix my brothers, my sisters, all the Klal Yisrael. I just have to love them. I just have to show them how beautiful Hashem's Torah is, Hashem's service, and then Hashem does the fixing. We're not into. There's a term called Tikkun Ha'olam. I don't know that we need to do Tikkun Ha'olam through the traditional means, but rather just by following the Torah as D'rechecha Darchei Nayam, and then that's it. The rest comes after that. May I be, and hopefully share with anyone else who has the same need, the same energy, the same belief, this ability, this Amen. We be zeichet to Geula Shlema b'mehira b'karev. A good tevach.